Ah, good morning. How is everybody today? Happy Wednesday. Today I am drinking from the Guinness mug. I don't know if I've had this one on here yet. It is from the Guinness factory in Dublin in Ireland, and it is a nice it's a big mug. It's great. I'm gonna have to start getting some new ones and or get some like merch mugs for myself. Mm, so good. Um All right. So today's episode, I had this thought yesterday when I woke up. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to record this one. It's a little bit. So my thought that I had was how much of our life do we micromanage or obsess about optimizing to a point that we've become so disconnected from just being consciously aware or being able to tap into how we actually feel? It's like, okay, well, if it's not meeting these quotas, these standards, these measurements, then it means I'm not getting the results that I need to be getting in day-to-day life. And I want to first preface by saying that I'm not saying don't have goals in this podcast, in this potty yet. I'm not saying don't have goals. Goals are fantastic. Having goals helps you to strive for more. Having goals helps you to want to evolve your life. It allows a space for growth, no matter what space that goal might exist in. So I'm not saying don't have goals, but sometimes when we have goals, we become so hyper fixated and focused on the goal and measuring every single thing about it that that's all that we can do. We're not conscious, or we're not tapping into how does that actually make me feel? Or okay, I'm measuring that particular thing, but because I'm measuring that, it means that I need to be looking at this, and this. And it becomes like a ripple effect of your whole entire environment that is being measured to a point that you just like, do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy your life? Are you enjoying moments of being present? Are you allowing yourself to experience the emotions that come in with the thing or other areas of your life that maybe you've kind of got distracted from because of the focus on the other thing? Like, so it's not about not having goals. It's about bringing in a level of awareness and some thought provoking for you around, can I have that goal and work and do all that? And also, can I bring in some moments throughout my days and throughout my life where I'm not having to measure things and I get to just do them simply because I enjoy them, simply because they bring me fulfillment, simply because they, make me laugh or make me happy, or they make me feel grounded and peaceful and safe and calm, and or some things that might give you the adrenaline rush, right? Whatever it is, but you're able to live in that moment and be present with it without it being another thing that you have to tick, another thing that you have to accomplish. It removes it being completely goal oriented, and it allows you to actually experience it outside of the measurements. So, yeah, have we become, and you know, how many things, like there's social media, how much are we consuming now? How much information our brains take in every single day that are designed to distract us from living our life and experiencing it and being present. We're being pulled in multiple different directions with so much different information, so many facts, so many differing opinions, so much just stuff that's coming at us left, right, and center. And even that in itself requires a level of consciousness, because Remember, our brain loves dopamine, and that is what our phones give us. That's what social media brings. It's dopamine hits constantly. And it doesn't take long for that to hijack us to a point where we develop anxiety and discomfort by just putting our phone away. Some people just like struggle with that so much. And if you're finding that that's happening with you, like, can you switch off for the night, put your phone in another room, and just be? If you haven't tried that for a while, I recommend you try it and just feel how often, notice how often your brain goes to want to pick up your phone. And then the discomfort that sits there of like, well, what if someone's messaged me? Or what if this? Or what if that? I need to check this. I need to check that, right? Like, we've become so addicted to our phones. And so, yeah, with social media, with, our upbringing, your conditioning, your programming, how much of what you do is actually you? How much of what you do is depicted by your environment, by the beliefs that you were raised with, the conditioning, the programming, the impact of your peers, colleagues, friends, exes, right? How much of what you do each day also is being controlled outside of you. And I think, like, one moment in my life that I can specifically speak to that was probably one of the fork in the roads where, and I didn't know this at the time, but it definitely led me on the trajectory of where I am now. So when I left Lithgow and I moved to Newcastle, and eventually I got a job in business banking for NAB. And I really loved that job when I first got it for the first like year and a half. And then, like, the rose colored glasses come off and you start to see all the things, like all of the politics within the business and the organization, and just constantly chasing your tail. Everything was due yesterday. Everyone's wanted yesterday. Everyone wants a loan a week ago. And you're just like constantly chasing your tail, putting out fires. And I remember sitting in the office one day and just looking around. And some of the older bankers that had been there or been there for a while, a lot of them were stressed and genuinely taking stress leave. And I was like, man, I don't want that to be me. I like just looking at them, and sure, I could have looked at maybe other ones and been like, but their life's pretty good. They're pretty happy, but it's just a couple of them that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not where I want to end up. I do not want to. I don't want that to be my life. And so I'd always wanted to go either work in the UK or at a ski resort and travel. And so that was when I decided to do that. I was like 23, 24, and I applied for a Canadian working visa. I got it, and I went and had the best time of my whole entire life. It was so incredible. And I made so many amazing friends that I'm still such good friends with even today. I would not take that moment back at all. But I think that was where I made the shift of seeing that, you know, we are thrown into a system, right? Go to school, go to uni, or don't go to uni, but get the job, apprenticeship. So school, uni, or apprenticeship, work, retire at 65, and hope for the best that your health is good enough that you can go and actually live your life at 65 years old or 70, whatever. I think retirement age for our like age group now is probably like 70. So it's like, okay, work till I'm 70 and then hope that I can go and travel and live my life or do whatever it is that you wanted to do. I was like, nah, that's not the narrative for me. That's not how I want my life to look like. So in making that decision, I think that it allowed me the permission to experience. And I am very much an experiencer of life. Like, I am always trying something new. I've had many different careers. I've learned a lot of different things. I've studied a lot of different things. like I've done, I started off in hospitality, went to uni and did finance, worked in business banking for a few years, then went traveling, and which was like I worked in kind of customer service roles. Got back, became a PT, and did that. Had my own gym, so I worked in a gym, then left, opened my own gym, and then I went into coaching, and that's been a beautiful journey as well. And now I'm doing this. Like I'm a I follow the breadcrumbs. Truly, I am not. At one point in my life, I was like, this is my plan. This is what the goal was. I always rejected when anyone said to me, what's your 10-year plan? I'm like, I don't know what tomorrow's doing, let alone 10 years down the track. I've got an idea. I'm going to like go to uni and do finance, and I'll probably work in business world and corporate world. But got there, didn't love it, decided not, it wasn't for me. So I've always followed the breadcrumbs. I don't restrict myself to a point or put myself in a box where I can't experience other things because of a certain mindset that I might have. It's always be open. When one door closes, another one opens. We don't know what's around the corner. The best thing in our life could walk through the door, or like we could get the best opportunity of our life the next day. And if you're so rigid on, oh, well, that's actually not in my plan, I can't do that, then you close the door on that opportunity, and maybe you wonder what could have always been. So, yeah, I'm very much a breadcrumb follower, very much an experiencer of life. I've lived in a lot of different places, I've traveled a lot of different places. I have a bike license, a car license, a boat license. I had a gun license for a while. I've, I've skydived. I've bungee jumped. I've base jumped. I have learnt how to snowboard. I enjoy cycling. I've tried to learn how to surf. That is one thing, if I could say, I still really want to learn, but it is so hard. That is the hardest thing I've probably ever tried to learn, surfing, to be honest. Man, I just suck at it. But I still have a surfboard. I still got my foamy in the garage, and every time I go on some kind of like a holiday to a surf place, I take it, and I might go out there for like, you know, like I might try go out every second day and just have a bit of a faff around, have a paddle, eat crap. And I enjoy it, but I'm like, God damn, it's so annoying being so crap at it. I don't enjoy being shit at things. It's one thing for sure. So yeah, very much an experiencer of all things in life. I don't like to close doors. I don't like to put myself in a box. I don't like to restrict things because my experience is that we don't know what's next. We don't know what's around the corner. And I would hate personally to miss out on an incredibly beautiful, magical thing because I had to control every aspect of my life. It didn't meet the measurements, it didn't meet the quotas, it didn't meet the statistics of whatever the goal was that I had. And I think that allows more ability or a greater ability to adapt to things as they come at you. And yeah, I'm just sharing that. Maybe that'll resonate for someone. Maybe you'll get a golden nugget out of that, but very much a breadcrumb follower. And so swinging it back around to the micromanagement of our life and being obsessed with optimizing it so much that we've forgotten how to actually live it is have the goals. Have the goals that you really want to have, and also be open to having the awareness and bringing the awareness in each day to actually experience your life guilt free. And what I mean by that is like if you're exercising, if let's just say you have an exercise goal, that's amazing. Keep that. And I think you'll notice if you have a goal whenever there's a goal around exercise, it does ripple effect across multiple areas of your life for sure, right? It might be like um, you know, if you're an athlete in one sport, then you need to be making sure you're training those muscle groups in the gym outside of that. You are maintaining, maybe having to do zone two training, cardio, so that you can increase your, you know, VO2 max or whatever the other lingo is for that sort of stuff, so that you're increasing stamina ability. Maybe you definitely would be monitoring the food that you have so that you're getting enough energy back in to restore and replace the energy that you've exerted in your training. You need to be making sure you're getting enough sleep so that your body can repair and recharge, right? So it does impact many different areas of your life. But I wonder if you can bring something in to your weeks where it's purely just for enjoyment. Like maybe it is, maybe you're a surfer and maybe it is going for a surf. Maybe you just can go for a nice walk and genuinely not do it because you have to count steps or you have to get a certain amount of calories in. You can just go for the walk because it makes you feel grounded, because being in the fresh air, feeling the sun on your face, feeling the breeze, like, you know, looking at the water or the bush or, you know, nature, whatever it is, like that is just filling up your soul and filling up your cup to a point where you're like, oh, this is so good. And you're doing it purely because it brings you joy. What I've found is when people have really, you know, have goals, this can be something that's easily forgotten because, again, our brain is like, doesn't love change. It's like, well, I'm getting used to this, go, 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 do. I need to be structured. I need to do this. It finds, and we go into our overdrive and our nervous system is like constantly just like pinging. It can be really difficult to get back into a peaceful space and a grounded space. So just notice that and do your very best to bring in things each day that allow you to get grounded again, because that is going to give you the longevity of doing what you're doing anyway. And it's going to prevent burnout. It's going to prevent sickness. It's going to prevent that rigidity that maybe, you know, you're missing out on other opportunities because you're so focused on that one. And it doesn't have to be that way. I do believe that, you know, there are people out there who can manage the whole environment of their life and still hit the goals in each area. You know, they can be fantastic athletes, they can be really great husbands and dads, they can be really great wives or mothers, like whether it's a male or a female, they can be have really good friendships and still have a beautiful life and be able to manage all of that because they've learned how to, you know, spread it to an extent where they're still good at all of it and still very good at the one thing that they do love to focus on, right? Like their purpose. So, yeah, if it's exercise, bring in some things that actually just bring you joy that are fun. You know, I currently don't have any crazy exercise goals. I have had them in the past. I've done competitions of various sorts, played different sports. For me now, it's about enjoying training. I just I enjoy going to the gym, and I used to have to be like, all right, I got to go to the gym. I've got an hour to get this done. And then I have to go do this. Now it's like I go to the gym, do my weights for 50 to 60 minutes. I'll faff about and do handstands for 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll have a stretch for 15, 20 minutes, right? Like, or up to half an hour. I'm not in a rush, and I just know that doing that thing each day or every other day, like it just, I might walk in a little bit overwhelmed and I'll walk out and I'm like, whew, okay, that feels really good. So for me, it's just about consistency at the moment and maintenance. You know, I've hit this point where I am not worried about exercise or food. And if any of you listening have ever done a bodybuilding comp or anything seriously competitive, it can hijack you for a number of years where you are fixated on that space, and you can make yourself feel really guilty if you're not doing the things that um, you're not doing all of those things that you created as such a routine for you. So it's like if I wasn't doing the 10,000 steps a day, I wasn't getting enough sleep, I wasn't eating at the same times every day, I wasn't, you know, having to max out everything at the gym or train five days a week minimum. So yeah, I don't do that anymore. And I also managed over the last few years to just like completely separate that. Like last year was probably when it really cemented for me. I was getting leaner, only doing CrossFit like 2 to 3 times a week, walking Duke morning and night, and I was just eating nutritiously. I wasn't overeating. Like during the week, I probably was almost in a bit of a deficit when it came to food. And then on the weekends, I was like, yeah, give me the food. Like I'd eat whatever, pizza, Thai, pasta. Like it didn't bother me. And because I just knew that I'm very aware of food now. Like doing a comp will teach you about food because you measure everything to the gram. You get quite good at understanding exactly what you're eating. So it just became like I'm just going to continue to eat the same things that I normally always eat and do that training. Like 2, 3 times a week I was training and that was it. It was nothing crazy and I was getting leaner. And so I've just brought that in as that's become the new kind of like life habit for me. And I would say that I'm really, really content with the way I feel and the way I look at the moment. Like really content. Uh I probably haven't been this lean in a very long time. But the important part about it for me is that it's been easy to get lean. It hasn't been, oh, I have to do all of this stuff in order to get there. It's just become so natural and so easy. And whilst, yes, I have habits stacked to a point where I have just natural discipline across certain areas, but it's easy now. And I'm like, gosh, I feel it's just like just getting that little bit older and having a bit more wisdom or having experienced more things, but it's become just so easy now. Like it's not a thing. And another part of, this being obsessed with optimizing our life and micromanaging all the bits, like after being a PT for so long, how many of you, and I find this is, no, I'm not going to say that. You can't even go out for your friend's birthday dinner and eat cake guilt-free because you're like, oh, how many calories was that? How much cardio am I going to have to do tomorrow? Oh my God. Like you just are so fixated on it. Or like, I have to lose 10 kilos, which means that you starve yourself until you lose the 10 kilos and then you binge eat over after it. Like, where are you obsessing about how much calories that you're getting in to the point that your cortisol levels are through the roof, which is causing you to hold on to weight anyway? And you're not even getting to experience and enjoy the moment. You're missing it. Like you're missing the point of life by fixating on that one thing. So start figuring out how to work towards actually just feeling good. Stop checking the scales every day. Your clothes will tell you exactly where you're at. Not the scales is just another way to add a fixated number and a measurement that's going to fuck with your brain. Soon, anyway, if you're listening to this and you do this, let me know if this is bang on. You get on the scales in the morning. If you've put on a little bit, it spirals you for the whole day. You think about it all day. If you've lost a bit, oh yeah, okay, cool, amazing, I'm reaching my goal, yay. Like you feel better for the day. But the one time or the days that it goes up, it spirals you out of control because you're fixated on measuring it instead of actually feeling and experiencing and being present with your life. You're allowing a number to control your happiness. You're allowing a number to control how you live your life. You're allowing a number to control how you feel. And whilever you're doing that, you're never actually going to be content. You are always going to be focused and distracted elsewhere to a point where you're just not enjoying life or experiencing what it's meant to be experienced. Relationships, all right. Relationships and external validation. So, can you do things for people purely because you know it's going to make them feel really good? Like you know that that's going to help them. They're going to feel loved. They're going to feel seen. They're going to feel heard. Like they're going to feel really, just like prioritized by you in that moment? Can you do that for somebody without needing to tell everyone else that you did it? Can you do that thing without needing to broadcast it to the world on social media? Can you do that thing purely because you want to be a good person and live in the moment, and you can notice that someone that you love might need some help, or you just want to do that thing for them without seeking the external validation that everyone else is going to give you because you did the thing? Like the, oh my God, you're so good, you're so kind, you're so great, I can't believe you did that for them. Like, that's just ego seeking attention, right? That's ego seeking attention. It's the brain going for the dopamine hits over and over and over again. And it means you're not actually genuinely doing it for the sake of doing it. There's always an ulterior motive. In your relationships, how do you, whether you're single and you're dating or you're in a relationship, are you measuring your life to a point where you're like, in order to, say if you're single, like, are you measuring your life to a point where you might want to have this certain image of a partner, right? There's an image of the person that you want to be with, and you think that if you reach that image, you get that person. Maybe they've got the job, they've got the career, they've got the car, they've got the style, they've got the aesthetics, whatever it is. You think that if I be with that person, then I will have made it. And I'm not sure if any of you have been through this, but then you get to that point where you're with that person, or you're seeing that person that you've been obsessed with. And then it's like, oh, actually, no, that they're not that happy. Like, they present on social media, they present to the world that they're like this really awesome person, but deep down they are not a happy person. They are not a nice person. They are driven by ego, whatever it might be. And so then you're like, oh shit, like that's a massive lesson, right? It's like, okay, the image I was going for actually doesn't, the fantasy I'd created with that person doesn't match the reality. And so where in your dating world are you, I guess, applying measurements, you're applying statistics to what you need to be, who you need to be with, that could be preventing you from having a great thing, a great relationship, or a beautiful foundation with somebody that you really like get along with. Or if you're in a relationship, I mean, imagine this would just be like a bit of a cycle, I'm sure. But, whether it's like you're in a short, you've only just been in there for a little while, or you've been in there for a long time. But if you've been in a really long relationship, long term, and you both haven't grown together as well as grown individually, that's where I find, in the conversations that I have and the people that I've coached, that's where the mismatch comes, right? And I think so if you're dating at the moment, like, look for someone who has growth as a really like high value, if you do as well, because that's what's going to help you have a long-term relationship. When two people who both constantly want to become better, constantly want to evolve, want to make sure they are, making each other feel loved and seen and safe and heard and appreciated and all of that sort of stuff. That's the kind of person I believe that's going to give you that long-term longevity of a beautiful relationship, rather than one where you slowly just grow further and further and further apart because you met at whatever age, at whatever time, at whatever moment, and for whatever reason, you just grow in different directions. And sometimes you can both be wanting to grow, and you grow wildly different too. But yeah. But within dating and relationships, like, where are you focusing on the measurements, focusing on what's not good, and you're missing out on the experience? You're missing out on being present with that person. You're missing out on feeling like doing nice things for each other and feeling loved, and really sitting down to listen to each other. Like, are you taking that time, or are you like, well, I have to go do the housework, I have to go cook dinner, I have to go do this, I have to go do that? And You're not spending time with each other anymore. You're not taking those small moments. Can you relax on a Sunday? Can you literally just like kind of do minimal on a Sunday without feeling guilt? Or are you constantly trying to optimize your life by like, I have to accomplish all of this stuff because it's my day off. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to be stressed out all week thinking about the fact that I didn't do it. Like, where can you just let go of control and be? Yes, it will be uncomfortable for a little while, but it gets easier. Trust me, it gets easier when you can start to tap into and connect to how you feel, like your nervous system. Are you at peace? If you can start connecting to how you feel and stop being obsessed with having to get it all right, or stop being obsessed with having to take on every single piece of influencer's advice and do that, and that becomes your Bible, and that becomes like, I have to do that because this person said that, and if I don't do it, then I'm not going to be this, and this. Like, can you actually just start to live your life in a self-led way where you're doing it because it makes you feel good, because you enjoy it, because it relaxes you, your nervous system's at peace, you feel safe, like you feel joy, you feel grounded? Can you start bringing in things each day where you know that it actually just grounds you and relaxes you and it brings you peace? And then can you apply it to all the different aspects of your life? Can you look at everything and be like, where am I trying to meet some sort of standard that might be unrealistic or that isn't mine? Where am I trying to meet a standard that's not mine? Like, when it comes to like relationships, how many times do you have conversations with your friends or your family or whatever, and they're like, oh, I can't date that person because of this. I can't date that person because of that. Oh my God, what are people going to think of me if I date that person? It's like, are you actually even, you're not even dating them because you actually fucking enjoy them and like really enjoy them. You're so worried about judgment and criticism from other people that it is controlling your life. That is not you being self-led. That is not you being in control of your world. That is you being completely driven by external forces. And while ever you do that, and while ever that's driving you, you are not going to be experiencing the life that you've been sent here to experience. You're too busy living other people's lives. And, that can happen a lot even with like family. What were you raised to believe? I went for a ride with a friend on Saturday and we were talking about, I was saying how it doesn't feel overly safe to go riding here in Lithgow, like cycling, because country people hate cyclists, right? We weren't born hating cyclists though. That is conditioned into us from more than likely a parent or a caregiver who at some point we're in the car with them, we're driving, they see cyclists or they get stuck behind a cyclist and they're like, fucking cyclists, like get off the road, right? Boom. There goes your little brain. Well, I have to believe that too because so does my mum or so does my dad. And then you grow up and you hate cyclists, and it's like you've never cycled for starters, which means you can never understand it or appreciate it. But it's a conditioned belief. So where else in your life are you having these conditioned beliefs? And like, start questioning everything you think. Like, seriously, get to a point where you're like, why did I just say that? Where did that come from? That was interesting that I just had that thought, or that was interesting that I just that I believe that. Like, why do I believe that? When you can start doing that, you will start to realize how much perhaps you're not living the life that you really want to live. And it's still being driven by your conditioning, your programming, society, the company you keep, whatever it is, right? So, yeah, it's just fascinating, isn't it? Like, how much stuff we don't even realize that we carry that's not ours. Which means that we're not enjoying our life. And I think I've finally come to this place, it's this level of discernment where I do things because they bring me joy. I do things because I want to explore that. I want to experience that. Oh, I need to sneeze. It's not going to come through though. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So I've come to this place where I have a level of discernment now, and I truly do things purely almost based out of, is that going to bring me joy? Is that going to add to my peace? Is that going to add value to my life? Am I going to add value to that person's life by being there? How can I make that person feel, you know, like, it's not even how can I make them feel, but like I want to show up as someone who is really genuinely kind, and I come from a kind space, like as much as possible. Like I want that to be a driving place for me. I also had this conversation with that friend on Saturday as well that I went for a ride with, and it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really starting to notice like how kind men are. Um, and sometimes I have conversations with men and I'm just like, oh my God, like I could level up my game. I mean, I'm not a bitch, but like I could be a little more selfless and a little more like naturally kind leaning in my belief system so that my thoughts and my actions can come from that space. So yeah, sometimes I just notice that and I'm like, oh man, that was really genuinely like the most beautiful thing I've ever heard anyone say. It's like, okay, up my game. Um, but yeah, like I genuinely just want to do and live my life and live it feeling good and at peace and have experience and adventure and joy and all of these things, but also still like I enjoy the day-to-day life. Like I really want to have peace and enjoyment in the day-to-day, my day-to-day life. And I do, I truly do. I enjoy my day-to-day life. I don't hate having to go to work. I don't hate my job. I don't hate or dread the weekdays. I enjoy every day. I really think that I have managed to go through the different stages of life so far where I've measured things and I've tracked things and I've had external other people's belief systems driving what I chose to do. And I've had, like, I need to be optimizing everything in life. And I finally got to a point where I'm like, no, I actually just want to live the life that I want to live. And I don't care what other people think. And as long as I be a good person and I get to experience things continuously, I'm good, I'm good. So yeah, I've definitely been going for a bit longer today. I finally put a clock up, you guys, so I didn't have to keep getting up and checking the phone because I spilt my coffee last week. We're learning. So yeah, whereabouts in your life could you be more discerning? Where can you be less focused and obsessed with measuring and optimizing everything and actually just start to connect to how does it make you feel? Do the things that make you feel good. Be with the people that make you feel good. Be with the people who fucking appreciate you, right? Don't spend time with people who have to manipulate you to get their way or who make you feel bad. That's forcing that's never going to be helpful. It's never going to make you feel good. It's never going to end well. Just surround yourself with the people that's so easy and natural to be around. And when it comes to work, like, you don't have to always have the job that's going to completely fulfill you and light you up if it means that you have to sacrifice a certain amount of money perhaps to get started and you enjoy your day-to-day life. Or like, um I always encourage, like, I do want to encourage people to still chase their goals and chase their dreams, but only if it's what you want to do. Like, if you enjoy going to work and it supports your lifestyle at the moment and you're happy, then cool. Like, our brain also likes to create problems that it like then likes to try and solve, which is so annoying. So just, how do you feel about your life? Does it feel good? If it doesn't, where can you start bringing in more connection to your nervous system, to your body, to actually being tapped into the emotions that you feel day to day? And make the changes. Start bringing in things. Start spending time with people that you care about. Notice where you've got the limiting beliefs and work on them. Shift them. Make it like, so what's meant for you will not pass you by. I always say that to myself, what's meant for me will not pass me by. It keeps me moving through. It allows me to continue to show up no matter what. Especially in dating, it's like, there's only so many times you get knocked down and it doesn't work out and it's the wrong timing or it's the wrong aspects or whatever the frig it is. What's meant for me will not pass me by. That allows me, for every single encounter or experience I have with a different man, when I want to meet him. Where is my future husband? It allows me to show up to the next one fully without being guarded, without having chips on my shoulder, without carrying past wounds, because I'm like, no, what's meant for me will not pass me by. I'm going to continue showing up as me. When it's meant to be, it's going to meant to be. But yeah, just bring into your life those moments. Where are you being held back? Where is your life being controlled by other people's thoughts and feelings and opinions? Where are you measuring instead of experiencing? Or where can you be measuring and where can you bring in more experience and presence and feeling? All right, I'm going to stop there. I hope you'll have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me for episode 8 of Morning Mug Talks. I actually really friggin' enjoy these, you guys. Like, they bring me so much joy. Again, do things that bring you joy. So have a great day, and I'll see you all next week.